What's up, YouTube? It's your favorite Leo, Mar Harrison, back again with another video. As y'all can tell by the title, yes, I haven't played in my lifetime before. Me, out of all people, haven't played, and we're gonna go ahead and get into this story time. Thinking about it now, it's funny. It's funny to laugh at, but at the time, I tell you, I was so irritated. I was so mad because it was just bullshit. I don't have no other word to describe it. But before we go ahead and get into this video, please subscribe to this channel. If you haven't seen my face, subscribe if you want to see more. I don't know why you wouldn't, because just look at the material. But I do want to say thank you for clicking on the video, because you did not have to. I hope that you'll enjoy it. I do want to give a special shout out to Gianna and Sage from my last video. They commented on my last video, and if you want to get a shout out as well, comment on this video once you get done watching it. But let's go ahead and get into this story time. So just before I started to record this video, I just realized how long ago it was. I thought this happened last year, but this actually happened in August. Yeah, it happened in August of 2019. 2019? 2020? 2019, because I just had moved into my apartment. Moved into my apartment of July of 2019. So this happened in August 2019. So basically, I was bored. This was right after I had I came out to my friends and family. So really only my friends and family knew that I was out. I didn't come out to everyone or whatever, social media and all that yet. So we was bored. It was me and a few friends. We was bored. We was just chilling. And one of our friends was just let's all make dating apps and let's just fuck with people. So I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So mind you, never been on a dating app in my life. Never been on not one. So I think I downloaded Tinder, Jack, Grinder. Yeah, I think that was it. No, and Black People Meet. I don't know why I downloaded that one, because when I went on there, it was nothing but 30 and up. But that one got deleted within the first 5 minutes. But the other three I kept. So Tinder. So when I first did Grinder and Jack, it was weird. I didn't like it, and I was about to I deleted them ones too, within 30 minutes, because people was just messaging me out the blue and was just saying all these things they want to do to me and stuff like that. And I just thought it was so weird, because I'm like, you don't know nothing about me. All you see is a profile picture, and then you're in my messages sending new pictures and stuff. I just think that it's so weird and it's gross. So I deleted that one. So Tinder was the only one that I was actually enjoying. So I'm swiping, and I match with this person. As soon as I swiped over, it said that we match. So talking to them, and we was really having a good conversation, whatever, and it was all good vibes. So it was supposed to be a little, we're supposed to get on there for a little bit, joke around, and then we were supposed to get off or whatever. But I ended up really actually enjoying talking to this person, and I was actually getting enjoying that, because I was matching with quite a few people, and I was having conversations with multiple people. So I'm I'm newly out, so I'm just I want to talk to people in my community, because I don't have any friends in the community. All my friends literally straight. So I wanted to meet other people. So we're talking. I think we talked for 4 or 5 days maybe. Then we get to exchanging numbers. So that went on from there, and I would say for about a month, we literally just hit it off. We talked all day, every day. We started FaceTiming every night. We would fall asleep on the phone together. We would literally talk all day, and it would never get boring. We never not had nothing to talk about. So all good vibes. So we finally in the midst of the month or whatever, we kept having plans to meet up, but we would never make a date to actually meet up. And he lived in PA. But it wasn't far. It was it was on 45, 50 minutes from where I'm from. And we never made an actual date. So we finally made a date, and I was ready. When I tell you, I was so excited to meet him, because I'm just all right, we've been talking for over a month now, and So I was just open. Like, I didn't know what to like really get out of it because I didn't meet him in person. But I know that like, I enjoy this company. I enjoy talking to him. But like doing stuff over the phone can be very easy to do, but you never know how like you're going to interact in person. So I was open to it. So he did tell me like, he was nervous because he's like, and over the phone and stuff, and this is exactly what I was saying. Like over the phone, he was very like social. Like he always has something to say, always getting smart and stuff like that. But he told me in person, he's more like quiet and reserved. And I'm not quiet and reserved. Like I'm very like outspoken and loud. And so I'm just like, okay, this is gonna be interesting. So I'm like, okay, so all the shit that you was talking over the phone, you're not gonna be able to back it up in person. Okay. So I was like, well, did you want me to like have like a game night with my friends? Like my friends come over and like, we all just chill, drink and just play games. And he was like, yeah. So I was like, all right, bet. So the day come up and I literally I'm an idiot for this. So because I'm just the type of person where I want everything to go perfectly and I do everything in my abilities to make sure that happens. So like I went out, I bought like a new comforter set. Had bought a pillow. I had bought a pillow for him because I didn't have extra pillows like that. So I bought a pillow for him. I made sure my apartment was clean. Like I had a couple of my friends, because like a couple of my friends come over and like clean my apartment, well, make sure my apartment was together while I was at work because I had worked the night shift. I took off, well, I didn't take off, I went to work, but I requested to leave early because he didn't get off of work until about 8 and I didn't get off till midnight. So I requested to leave, I think at 10, because he said once he got off, he was gonna go home, pack his bag and come. So he was gonna be here by like 10 o'clock. So I was like, all right, bet. So everything's going good that day. I'm at work and I'm talking to him like throughout work or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I'm still coming. I'm excited. And he did tell me like he was nervous or whatever. So I was like, it's nothing to be nervous about. I'm like, we literally talk every day for a month. Like, ain't nothing to be nervous about. So I had the whole like weekend planned because he was going to stay for the weekend. Had the whole weekend planned. There was a taco festival the weekend he was coming. So remember I said it was a few of my friends that downloaded the app. So me and him and my best friend, and she met somebody off Tinder too. So all four of us was gonna go to this taco festival. So I had bought the tickets. She bought her tickets, I bought my tickets. And then what else? We was gonna have the game night, and then that Sunday he was gonna leave or whatever. So everything's going good the day of he's supposed to come. He texts me when he gets off work. He's like, yeah, I'm going home now to pack my bag, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, I'll be getting off in an hour or whatever. So like by the time you get here, I'll be home as well. So so I get off work, come home. He texts me. He's like, oh, he already texted me that he was leaving when I was already at work. So I was like, bet. So I'm home and we just waiting. He texts me. He's like, hey, I'm about 20 minutes away. I was like, all right, bet. Out the blue, like 10 minutes later, he texts me and was like, we have a problem. And I'm like, what? No, he texted me and said, I'm so stupid. I said, what do you mean? He was like, he said, can I FaceTime you? I said, yeah. So he FaceTimes me. He's like, he said, I'm at the gas station and I thought that, he said, I thought my car was in drive, but it was in reverse. And I reversed into the little pole. So I'm thinking like, so I started laughing, but I was like, no, you didn't. He was like, yeah, I did. And he was like, my bumper's hanging. So then I was like, oh my God. So I started feeling a little bad. I'm like, damn, like now your bumper hanging and like you was coming to see me. And like, I don't know what to tell you. So he FaceTimes me and shows me the bumper. Like the bumper was really hanging. So I was like, oh my God. But he was like, no, I'm still gonna come. He was like, I'm only like 20 minutes away. So I was like, all right, cool. So I get off the phone with him. Another like 10, 15 minutes go by. He calls me again. And no, first he texts me and says, I don't think that I can come. So now I'm getting annoyed because I'm just like, all right, we planned this whole day out. Like, I already bought these tickets. I done bought this whole comforter set. I done bought you a pillow. Like, and now you're talking about you're not going to come when you're literally, if you live 50 minutes away, you already 20 minutes away. So you might as well, like, you're closer to me than you are to your house. So you might as well finish taking this drive. So he calls me back and he was like, my car is making this sound. and my brother told me just to come home before you get stranded where you're at, blah blah blah. So in my head, I'm thinking like, boy, the only thing that's wrong with your car is your bumper's hanging. Like we can get, Gorilla Glue, duct tape or something, and we can literally tape your bumper and keep it moving. So he sends he sends me this voice note of the car and like what the sound the car was making. To me, I couldn't tell. Like it definitely was a noise, definitely like a loud noise, but I personally couldn't tell what it was. My friend said that it sounded like he like threw something out the window, but it didn't sound like that to me. It sounded like, I don't know what it sounded like, but it sounded like, because he seemed like he drove a stick. So like it's like he was shifting the gears and it would make like this boom noise in the background. So I was like, okay, whatever. So now I'm irritated. I'm like so annoyed because I'm just like, I done left work early. I done made sure everything was together for you to not even show up when you're literally right here. Like I probably can drive to you and get to you in like 15 minutes. So he was like, I'm just gonna go home. He's like, I feel so bad that I just kept apologizing. So we made a plan. My friends was like, at first my friends was like, well, we can just come get him to where he's at. But I'm like, no, that's whole 15 minutes away and it's already like 10:30 at night. Like that's dead. Like I'm not that pressed to go see him. So my one friend was like, you can take my car in the morning and go get him, bring him here. Y'all spend the weekend together, whatever. Because we didn't really need a vehicle because my best friend was picking us up anyway to go to the taco festival. Was like, go pick him up, bring him here, and then you could just take him home on Sunday in my car. I was like, bet. Mind you, I had a car I was able to drive, but the problem was I didn't want to drive it like long distance because it had issues with it. So I wanted to keep it local just in case, you never know. So that's why I didn't want to drive my car. So I told him, he was like, all right, bet, that works, da-da-da-da. He sends me his address that night. So I was like, bet. So I was like, I'll be to you by like 10 o'clock in the morning. He was like, okay. So then that was that. So the next day comes, I wake up, it's probably like 7 o'clock in the morning. He already had texted me. He's like, I'm so sorry, I can't come today. He was like, my brother told my parents that I was smoking and driving, and now they got me cleaning my family church. So my first thought was, how old are we? Like, he was over 21, and I'm like, you're getting punished by your parents by the age of over 21. Okay, whatever, that's different. So I'm like, who am I to judge? So then I was just like, you know what? I was like, it's cool, whatever. He was like, I promise I'm going to make it up to you. I promise I'm going to pick another date, da-da-da-da. All that BS. So now I'm already irked because the only thing I'm thinking is, now I got a third wheel on this taco festival because I was still going to go because I like tacos, I like margaritas. So I was still going. That was not stopping me at all. But come to find out, I called my best friend to tell her. She said her date had flaked too. So I'm like, perfect. So, but our idiots, we got 2 tickets that's not going to be used, and we had to go. No, we did end up using one. One of our best friends did go, but we couldn't find somebody to go with us for the 4th ticket, so 1 ticket had to go to waste. But so that was cool. Back to the story. What happened after that? So after that happened, everything was cool. We still talking. So this where it gets kind of spicy. I met somebody else off of Tinder, and we're gonna get a story time with him later down the line because this is somebody I actually dated. I meet somebody else on Tinder the same day that I met him when I first went on Tinder. We talked every day too, but it was always like on a friendship level. It was never like on more. He lived in the area that homeboy lived in that was supposed to come see me. I noticed when I followed them on Instagram that they were mutual followers, but I never told each other that like I knew them or whatever. So when all this was happening, I mentioned it to him. I said, do you know? No, that's not even how it happened. I'm so sorry. Scratch that. Rewind. It's not how it happened. So 2 days go by. We're talking like from the moment that he was supposed to come see me up until now. 2 days go by. Everything was still normal. We still talking, FaceTime, and blah, blah, blah. This was like on a Sunday night. I was like an hour and something away from home. I was like at a couple friends' house. So I was going to drive back and he was going to call me so I didn't have to drive back late without, with nobody on the phone. So he said he was going to call me. He gets off of work. I didn't hear from him. So I get on the road. I'm like, hey, are you still going to call me? Da, 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 da. No response. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Couple days go by, still haven't heard from him. He just kind of just like, he literally just like ghosted me. I just literally stopped hearing from him. And mind you, I had him on social media, but he never posts on social media. Like he just has social media just to like, he looks, but he doesn't post anything. So I'm like, okay, can't really tell, what's going on. Not really thinking too much into it. I'm like, maybe like, I don't know, something happened. And he mistakenly, I think like 3 or 4 days in from him like stop responding to me, he mistakenly watched one of my stories on Instagram, and I know that it was a mistake because he only watched the first one and didn't watch the rest. So that means he probably was just going through it and mine happened to pop up and he didn't mean to. So I was like, you know what? I was like, okay, I see this game. So this is when the other boy comes in. I told him, I said, oh, do you know such and such? I gave him his Instagram handle. He was like, no, I don't know him. He was like, but my best friend works with him. And I said, oh, really? They work together? So I told homeboy the story. Of course, the homeboy told his best friend, the one that he works with, the guy that I'm talking about. And he was like, yeah. He was like, my best friend said that he always talks about someone, that he been talking to someone, that they always be on the phone all night and sleeping on the phone together, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, really? So I'm like, I'm guessing he's talking about me. But he was like, I think he said the boy was from Baltimore. And I'm like, I'm not from Baltimore, so I don't know who he's talking about. But I'm like, okay, the best friend probably just, heard it incorrectly or whatever. But this is where I got gagged. He was like, the thing is, he was like, I just never understood why he was talking to him, because he was like, so-and-so has a boyfriend. So I'm sitting here gagged. I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, he was like, my best friend said that he has a boyfriend. I'm like, what do you mean he has a boyfriend? He was like, he has a boyfriend. I was like, how does he have a boyfriend? I couldn't wrap my mind around it, because we literally talked all day, every day on FaceTime. So I'm like, where in between was you having interactions with your actual boyfriend when we literally was talking all the time? Like, there was not a moment, like, I couldn't wrap my mind around it. So I was just like, we literally sleep on the phone every night, and it just wasn't making sense. So I'm like, nobody be over your crib. Like, it just didn't make any sense to me. So I was like, you know what? So I was annoyed. So at this point, I'm like, I have this man's address. This man sent me his address. I could pull up, but I'm like, no, that seems really pressed. So I just kind of just did it the whole thing, and I just left it alone. But nothing made sense to me. I'm like, you went through all of this. You shared very personal information with me. You sent me your address. Like, we spent all day, every day together over the phone. I'm just like, just for you to just randomly decide one day that you was going to be done. But that's what I'm learning about the male species, is that they're very different, and they just have issues. But that's basically the story. Like, it gagged me. That was my first time. That was my first time ever getting played. And I'm not even gonna lie, I'm a thug at heart. Like, I'm very like strong when it comes to like stuff like this, like stuff getting me getting played, and emotional stuff that will like trigger other people. I'm very strong when it comes to that. But this one kind of hurt my feelings, like, just a little bit. Not that long, no, like just a little bit, because like I really was invested. Like, we really hit it off and we really connected very well, just for him to at the end, ghost me. But it is what it is now. It's old news. I just thought that it was something funny to share. But I hope that you enjoyed this story time. Again, please comment, subscribe, like this video if you want to see more. Turn on the post notification. And it's your favorite Leo, and I am out.